Hello everyone. Today I've got something really special to share with you. I've been lucky enough to play with some of the new Lisa Horton dies. These ones are called the edge cuts, and I've got the Daisy Burst here, which is the floral one, but it's probably better if I show you the dies. So what you get is the edge, a decorative edge, and for this one the straight edge to finish off. But I think the other ones come with a different one which follows the pattern. But with this one you also get some floral dies. Now these dies actually fit onto the decorative bit as well, so you can build up your flowers onto your edge. But I thought I'd show you a different way of using these edge dies today. And what I've actually made is a box. So I'm using the edge die to make a hinge on one side. So it's quite big. It's a 6x6x6 box, and I've just decorated the top of this one using those dies. And the papers I've used are called Enchanted, and they were from Nitwits for this one. But on the one I'm going to do today, I'm going to use the Sunflower Cottage ones. So I'm going to put this to the side and grab what we need. So the box is going to be, as I said, 6 inches by 6 inches by 6 inches. So I've cut my side panels 6 inches tall, and the length doesn't really matter because we're going to be cutting our edge here, but as long as it's more than 8 inches. Okay, so you need your 6 inches and the width of your die. Then to make the base, I've cut a piece 7 by 7, and the top I've cut it a 7 9/16, which is just a fraction over 7.5 by 7.5. Okay, so I'm going to put the top and base away for a second, and we're going to look at our panels. So the first thing I did was I took my scoreboard and I scored it at 6 inches. So that gives me my 6-inch square side to the box and the extra little bit off to the side. I'm going to take my edge die and the score line. I'm just going to line it up just a little bit in, and I'm going to line the top with the top of the card and the bottom with the bottom, and then just tape it down. So these dies are just under 6 inches, so they will fit through your smaller machines. But I got my trusty platinum here. So because the die is slightly longer than my side today, it's actually cut it all off in one go. Grab my bin. And I'm just going to poke out all these bits. I get my poker tool a bit better. So this cardstock is actually another new product Lisa's bringing, and I don't actually have the details, so once I know I'll let you know what GSM, what thickness it is, but it's thick. It's really strong. Cuts nicely too. And there we have it. So I've now got my 6-inch square with my decorative piece then cut just beyond that score line. So I'm just going to now fold over the edge, and this is actually going to be what sticks onto the next side and the next side to make my box. So I've done that another 3 times, and what we'll end up doing is sticking them on, so the decorative piece is actually what's holding the box together. I quite like it tone on tone if you want a subtle effect. So obviously if we just did that, if they would fall out. So we're going to do the base next. So the base, as I said earlier, was 7 by 7, and I've scored 1/2 inch, turn, 1/2 inch, turn, 1/2 inch, and 1/2 inch. Now I'm going to take away the corners. So I'm just going to miter to that point and miter that. I'm just going to work our way around, taking off all the squares. And one last one. Let's get rid of the mess. And I'm just going to fold them. And that's my base done. So I'm just going to attach some double-sided tape. To each of these. So the tape will hold the box together for now, but it won't be strong enough, so I am going to add some of my Cosmic Shimmer glue as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the tape off, add some glue, and I'm going to attach my side to my box. To my base, sorry, not to the box. Okay. So now this time I'm just going to work around. Doing the same on every one. Third one, make sure it's stuck the right way. And the last one. there we have it. We have our sides ready to go. But before I stick these down, I want my decorative paper to show behind that to make it stand out a bit more. So I've got, like I said, some sunflower cottage papers already printed off. So I printed onto some lightweight cardstock just to give it some extra strength. So I'm going to stick these onto the outside of my box. And these were cut at 5 3/4, so just a little bit smaller than my 6x6. So as long as you measure and get it even on these 3 sides, don't worry too much about this one because it's actually going to be covered by our hinge anyway. Bit too much glue there. And let's get the pattern going the same way on everyone. So there we have the decoration done. Now for some of the filler bits. I want to put glue now on as many bits as I can, because this is the bit that's holding my box together. So I want to cover as much as I can. So I'm using my fine tip glue on the back of my daisy burst. And I'm going to bring it up and fold it over. So just until it sticks, what I'm going to do is hold it down onto my table. Doesn't take too long. And that's how we're going to do our hinges. So it's just a case now of working around all the others. So whilst I'm gluing this, it's a chance for me to just say a bit more about these new products. So these edge cuts, I should have filled my glue up. There's actually 3 different ones. There's the flowers one, there's a butterfly one, and there's a really cool spotty circle one, which is really good for mail cards. You'll see some cards and projects from me, I'm sure, using those. And each of the sets, as I said, comes with the decorative, the edge, and some extra little bits. But what's really cool as well is they also come with a coordinating stamp. Now the stamp works with this one with the decorative edge, but also this edge will cut around it as well. So if you like making fancy edged cards, they are brilliant for that. Just onto my 3rd one. And the last one. Yeah, so if you like this die set and you want to see maybe some more inspiration, you can obviously watch Lisa's shows on Create and Craft, but also if you go onto Facebook and go to Crafting with Lisa Horton, there's groups there where the design team, and hopefully more of you once you get these dies and stamps, will be sharing lots of products. So give us a follow at Crafting with Lisa Horton. And I'm sure there'll be lots of inspiration, giveaways, loads of cool stuff to come there. So there we have it. Our edge cuts have been used to make our hinges. So we're going to balance it out, and I'm going to use these edge cuts again on the scrap bits of cards I cut off when I was doing my side panels. So that's all I've done. I've taken my die again, and I'm going to line it up again, just a little bit in from the edge, so I've got a little bit of space to put some glue. So you can see I've just left a little edge. It's up to you. If you rather than use a straight edge, you could always use that die, but I'm all about speed here. So you see this time, because my card wasn't shorter than the die, it's actually stayed in. That's that one curly Q we don't want to rip. There we go. And we now have our decorative strip. Just a couple of bits to poke out. Those bits. So there's 4 sides, so I've done it 4 times ready for you. And I'm just going to stick these down the edge here, just to finish off the corners. So I'm going to just trim off a bit from the ends. And this isn't my joiner, so I don't need as much glue, which is good because my fine tip would have been better for this. But it ran out, I should have filled it before starting. There we go. So I'm just going to stick it on to the edge. That's 2 done. Forgot to trim. There we are. Let's add some glue just to make sure it catches the edge. Should I trim it first? And the last one, trim first. And there's the box itself made. So we've got that hinge bit and the decorative bit on each of our side panels over some decorative paper so we can see the pattern a bit clearer. So all we need now is a lid. So to make the lid, I wanted it a bit deeper than what I did with my base. So I've given myself a bit of extra room here. So it's 7.5 by 7.5 really, but I've added a little extra 1/16 just to give some extra space to put the lid on a bit easier. So it's 7 9/16, which is basically 7.5, and a little tiny halfway through each of these. So that's the way I do it rather than think of the 9/16. So last time I did a 1/2 inch, so this time I'm going to do 3/4 inch all the way around, just to give me that deeper lip. And I'm not cutting away the corners this time, but what I'm going to do is cut up one of the score lines to where it meets, and then cut the V away, turn it, exactly the same again, cut up the score line, cut up the V, turn, up to the score line, cut away the V, and the last one, up the score line, cut away the V. I'm going to score every line. Get rid of those V's. And I'm going to attach some glue to each of these. Oh, there it is. And then just tuck it under and line that straight edge with the straight edge of the lip. Hold for a second. And a bit more. Normally I'd hold it for a little bit longer, but I don't think you want to see me just holding bits together. And there we have a lid which fits on our box. So I've just cut some 1/2 inch strips of the same decorative paper from what was left. So just add them to, so they were 6 inches there, so I did it 5 3/4, and I said 1/2 inch that way. And then the top of my box is a 6x6, or just slightly over, because we added that extra 1/16 of an inch onto the original square. So that's all I've done is cut a panel just slightly smaller, so I think it's 5 3/4. And with this one, because it was a digi kit, I layered on my sentiment before printing. And I printed off the sentiment again. I just did a copy and paste on the screen, so it's exactly the same size. And I've put some 3D foam on the back. Just to give it some height. And there we have it. A box using the edger dies as a hinge. So it's quite a big box. And you see, on the original one, I just used the other dies from the set, because it all works together brilliantly. I used the same paper kit and the same cardstock just to do it. But what I wanted to show you today was just how to make the basic box. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you visit us at Crafting with Lisa Horton on Facebook. Join the group, and you'll hopefully see loads more inspiration, loads more great ideas. See you soon.